Bob, you are up.
Bob. Yay, Bob.
My name is Bob McBain, and I'm no way an expert in Frankoma. If I said I was, I'd lie. Because I guarantee you, every time I do something like this, I find things that I never knew or were never supposed to happen. Just a quick question. How many different creamer and sugars do you think Frankoma made? I just modified them, right? Actually, 21 that they made over the years. That's not counting Greystone. This is just Frankoma. And I think I got 19 of them here. I think I'm missing 2 of them. The earliest ones they made, and that's the 2 on the end here, were pre-38 fire. Never made after that time, so you always find these with pot Puma mark, round O, or nothing on them. But these were made pre-fire, never made again. This next row I got here was made pre-fire and up to about 1942. Again, you'll find them in different colors, different marks, so you got to be careful what you're looking for. This is considered the bridge set. Then you guys said you got your round ring creamer and sugar, your spiral cream and sugar, and again this came as a set. You had the creamer, sugar, the syrup, and the batter pitcher. So there's 4 pieces to that. It was all considered one set. These were 42 only. The Guernsey creamer and sugar, and then I like this one. This is a little teapot and sugar. A lot of times, this is the way you'll find it. You won't find the lid on it. Very, very seldom do you ever find one with the lid. I was lucky enough to find the lid for it. So anyway, those all 42 or before. Then you start getting into your newer ones. This is the what they call the batter set. Again, there was 4 pieces to this one as well. Your creamer, your sugar, then they had their syrup, and then they had the big pitcher. And it's pretty big when you see that. Your wagon wheel, creamer, and sugar, usually you'll find a lid to this. This one I think is, all of them here are the most interesting for creamer and sugars. These were the Aztec. This is the original shape to them. Then for some reason, it came out with 2 handles. Then they changed again and redesigned them totally again. What I think is interesting is I found this just today. This is this size, except it's 8 of clay. It's never supposed to have been made in 8 of clay. And it's smaller. So again, where did it come from? Again, like I said, if you think you're an expert, you aren't. Just like I said, I didn't know that. And I said, I just found this one today that says, wait a minute, that's not the same size. And it's not. You can take a look and it's a big difference. Then you've got your minis, creamers and sugars. Very impractical to use, but they're nice to look at. And then you also got your lazy bones. I didn't bring it, but you got your little lazy bones creamer that go in here. Then you got your dinnerware versions for your creamers and sugars. And I was just reading the other day that Jonice considered this her best creation and her worst creation. She said, this one, you pour out of it, she said it pours perfect every time, never a splash. She considered that one of her highlights. She said this thing was the worst thing ever made, lids never fit. She said it was just, she said, I don't know why we made them. She said that was the best. So again, it's one of those funny things is they're a set, but yet they don't match. So anyway, that's the creamers and sugars. Very quickly, a lot of variations. You will, look at them afterwards. I have no problems with that. Again, Then we get into candles. How many candles do you think they made? 46. That I know of. Again, same type of story. There's pre-fire. This little guy here is pre-fire. Very, very rare. You don't find them very often anywhere. This is pre-fire as well. This was pre-fire and post-fire as well. So you can see that they made one from the other. This is a pre-fire. Again, very rare, hard to find. And if you take a look at all these a little closer, you can kind of see that they're all the same design. These were pre-fire as well, post-fire. If you hold these side by side, guess what? This half is this half. So again, reutilizing designs. Also, if you notice, this was a round O on this, so this is pre-fire. You can stick your finger all the way down into these. Newer ones, you won't even get into them. This is open all the way through. Newer ones were closed. So again, this is something that I found out, you know, just even today. I didn't realize that there was that much difference between the different versions. Now, these are not the originals. I wish they were. It's the monks. This was the FFCA 2006 memorial. Again, it was the monk, the basket in front and basket in back. Very, very rare. I mean, they were pre-38 only and very hard to find. This is Candleholders. Again, it was pre-fire, post-fire piece. 5, you know, they're hard to come by. One thing I noticed, and my wife mentioned it, that most of candle holders, you notice, are odd numbered. 1, 3, 5. There's 2 exceptions. Again, it was this one, which holds 2 candles, and the cactus holds 2 candles. All the rest of them are, like I said, 1, 3, or 5. And she said that supposedly, if you do a lot of decoration, it's supposed to be odd numbers. It isn't supposed to be even numbered candles. Something I didn't know. This little guy here is a 42 only. Very hard to come by. Here's the tray. Again, same size. They didn't put the thing for the candle in these. What these are used for, I have no idea. I really, truly, to this day, I do not know. There's the one that's about half this size. If you cut this right in half, that was used in the cigarette holder, the 457. This one, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a beautiful little piece, but what it was used for, I'm not sure. You got your cactus, you got your 1 and your 3. Again, both of these are fairly hard to come by. And like I said, this I've seen in red bud, I've seen in prairie green. I don't know if I've seen any other color. I'm sure that they did. White.
I got them in Indian wood.
Yeah. But again, you don't. Most of the color you see is the green. And you know, so again, hard to come by. Then you got your cactus, get your 2. Again, these were 49 only. Very hard to come by. Beautiful shape. I mean, you know, again, you'll see these in red bud quite often too. Then you come into kind of the newer ones. And a lot of these were, I want to say that they made them, they discontinued them, and they came back with them. This is a prime example. This was 50 time period. This was the 70s time period. Same shape on the outside, different bottom, different inside. And they are different numbers too, but I mean, you know, it's again a little bit weird. This is your cactus, knobby cactus flower holder. This one they made 2 versions of it. Again, it's wagon wheel, candle holder, got center. Then they discontinued this one, came back with it again without finger hole. That's the newer one, this is the older one. So that's the way to tell the difference if you're not sure, besides clay on the bottom. Again, this is kind of a little unique one. Looked like an Aladdin lamp, small one. Again, it was 50s only and never made again. You got your triple one here. You got your Oral Roberts. They made it for the Oral Roberts. Your wedding ring. Again, just a single one. And again, you'll find this in a lot of different colors. There's no problem with that. This one's kind of a hard one to find. They actually call it the Aladdin lamp. It's a big piece, but again, it's supposed to be a candle holder. Then you got the, for the pillar candles, or a single one, again, they're shaped real similar. This one's kind of a, this is actually the base off of B vase, except on the back of this one, it's got the number for the candle holder, and it's actually got a candle in it. So I think that's one way they told us to figure out which way it's supposed to go. But so take a look at the bottom of that, because it actually does have a candle in there and the number for it. This one, one reference only, and Grace Lee was holding this with a candle in it, so it's not a candle holder. It's a bud vase. Every reference you'll ever see in any magazine says a bud vase, but there is one reference and one spot only. Grace Lee had this as a candle holder. So, kind of an interesting little fact. I mean, you know, because everybody sees these all over the place. And these are some of the newer ones again. Again, just candle holders, a pair of them. These are the pedestal ones, and there's one more size in between. I didn't bring it, so there's 3 sizes of these things. And again, these were made this time period. They were also made in this time period. So you'll find different numbers, different bottoms on them. This was a 3-4-1. This would just happen to be the Frankoma Family Collector's first edition. But that's, and then I brought just a couple Greystone pieces for people to look at. This is the Greystone one. I said it's a very unique shape. This is the only one I've ever seen like this. And then they were notorious for utilizing the bases for different things. This one happened to be a candle holder. You tip it over, it was the base for a lot of bases. So again, they utilized everything multiple ways. And then I got the dogwoods there. And again, they were back in this time period in the newer version. So. Anyway, lots of different candle holders, sugars and creamers. If you got any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Not saying I'm going to be able to answer it, but again, it just amazes me how they utilize, especially in the early years, the different styles go from one to the next to the next. You know, and you know, all the way through here, you can see where they reutilized it.
Bob?
Yes.
The month?
Yes.
Candle holders?
Yes.
The original ones?
Yes.
Ballpark? What's the value on them?
What you want, babe. They are very expensive. I mean, you know, when I had my price guide, I think I priced them at $1,500, and I know you can't buy them for $1,500 today if you find one. And they do break. I mean, they're pretty brittle because they're one of those pieces you just don't see.
What do you think the rarest candle holder?
Well, besides the monks.
Besides the monks?
I would say it'd have to be one of these two. cause you just don't find them. I mean, you really truly don't
The
find them.
little long neck.
Yeah. This one is very, very unique. I mean, like I said, I've only seen 2 of them, and this is one of them.
When would that one have been made?
This was pre-fire, this one, I was 36, 37
Okay.
time period. And like I said, you just, and this is the same way, I mean, this is pre-fire as well, it's round oak. These are rare just because I don't think they made that many of them, but I mean, you know. Everything else you can find if you look for it long enough, but those were hard to find. Questions?